Okay, go for it.
Go. Teemo, Kha'Zix, Wukong, and Kassadin are the chat bands. Welcome to round 3 of Dominate Dominion number 91. This is Clueless versus Scarf. You have to say Scarf like that because it's all caps.
Respect the capital letters, guys.
There's no exclamation point. Like, I would be shouting if there were caps and an exclamation point.
Could we go over the items more this game? Asks Joel Jims. We can try to. I will do what I can for you, man. The difficulty in talking about the items during the game is that there's a lot of fighting and positional stuff going on that it's hard to find downtime to turn
about the
them.
items after the game.
Yeah, we can put a little bit more post-game time in.
Yeah.
If you have any particular questions about items going during the game, feel free to ask in the chat or afterward, and then we can talk about it on the stream for you.
Okay. If you have an item-specific question, you should put it in the chat, and then Moloko Dude should PM it to me in-game, and then I'll bring it up if we have time. Yeah, do that. Because Gandair has to have his chat turned off because he's streaming, but since I'm not streaming, I can actually look at my chat, so Moloko can PM me, because I can't always watch the chat. Every now and then I look at the chat. But
so this game, we're going to have Clueless up against Scarf.
oh my god, Rage, I don't even know how excited I'd have to get if you made that.
Rage, I would... What are you doing to me? It wouldn't be the worst. Actually, that might be... That's going to be up there in worst teams in Dominion history.
The worst team name was XXXX 420 YOLO Swag Blaze It 420 XXXXX.
No, it was XXX Team Clan Esports Gaming MLG No Scope XXX.
Yeah, there's that. I think there.
And it was written in like alternating caps with a bunch of numbers in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was like a solid line bar, like the shift slash key, you know, that makes the solid line. That was in there. It had a 1, it had a capital I instead of an L in one of it. It was just awful. Like, and that was all High People's fault.
It was beautiful.
It was horrible at cast, but it was funny that it happened that one time and never again, please.
That sounds... I think it was worse than when I decided to play the forward bit game during a cast for like 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh. I was so hung out to dry there. I just didn't know what to do. I'm like, I'm trying to like follow along at all, and I have nothing. But I can't say that I have nothing because it breaks the rules of the game. So I'm just like,
I love the forward bit game.
Just so scared. All right. Percent scare. We don't use hashtags in this chat, by the way. We use percent signs.
No, if you play the forward bit game, you have to use hash.
Oh no, I deleted the title.
Press Control Z.
Does that work in XSplit?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't. Well, crap.
No. Maokai, Jarvan, the fourth Doctor, Mundo, Nidalee, Riven, and Taric are the bands there. First 3 for Clueless, the other 3 for Scarf. Maokai, Jarvan, and Mundo, really, really scary champions. Jarvan, I think, is the most picked... Like, okay, the champion who has the most picks relative to the amount of bans who's, like, picked and banned all the time. You, like, never see Jarvan bans, but he's always picked, and he's really, really solid. Maokai, too, really similar there. Mundo, super strong if you're good at him, super strong if you're not good at him. He has so much health. He never dies, never, ever, ever dies. You gotta build an Executioner against him, and that item sucks, so you don't want to build that item against him, because it sucks, but you have to.
For anyone wondering about the BFT counter that I had started, I accidentally the scene, and I don't know what the number was. I went to update it just now, but I accidentally removed it for some reason, because my XSplit is really tiny over here in the corner.
You could do a Jinx counter, and then maybe someone will play Jinx just to put themselves up on the scoreboard.
So I'm really sorry about that, guys. I went to update the number to click it on, and it just... I accidentally...
But if you did that, that
sorry.
might jinx my chances of seeing my favorite champion.
Okay. Ooh, hey, Mr. Dripping Gold. Drippin' Gold? I wouldn't know how to pronounce. Let's go Drippin' Gold. I like that. Thanks for being a sub, dude. That's really cool. The subscribers are awesome. I need to get paid from one of my jobs so I can resub. I feel bad. I've been like... I'm not the good sub like I want to be. I want my win bottle back.
Wukong is on the extra bans list because he was banned in chat. 6 bans, not enough when you have a map with balance that is this low maintained, that isn't maintained.
She's holding her hands really close together to show you how the amount of balance total that there is.
Yeah, there's very little balance over time on Dominion compared to SR.
There used to be none, but they're working on it now as of the last couple patches. It's going to be a slow process, so everyone needs to be aware that it's going to take a while, but for the time being, we've added some extra bans in.
So it's really important to allow you to ban like 4 or 5 OP champions and then also have target bans, because with just 6 bans, you're literally only banning OPs. Like, you have to ban Kha'Zix. You don't really have to ban Kassadin anymore, but you have to ban Kha'Zix, you have to ban Nidalee, you have to ban Teemo, you have to ban Wukong.
You have your sub icon, Dripping Gold. It's literally right there next to your name, dude. See? It's right there. You can see it. See, subscriber, Dripping Gold, subscriber. Yeah, you're good, dude. We see it.
It's like how sometimes I'm like, why did my mod get removed on this chat? And then I realized I'm logged in from whatever Twitch account I was casting on in the morning, and I wasn't actually logged in as myself. And then everyone's like, who is 3v3 GGTV? What? And I'm like, oh.
We've done that before. I like it when the mod just never turns on. Like, you have to use the slash commands for everything because the click interface never loads. So, one of the things that I'm looking at here that we don't typically see is, what is a Shyvanna?
Yeah, Shyvanna isn't seen that often, and I have not seen a Yasuo in Dominion yet.
Yasuo is...
Yasuo!
He's really killable. But then all of a sudden he has a 100% crit and he's just like chip chop, and it's like, what do you do? What do you even do to that?
The best part of Yasuo is his win wall, and that's really good against AD carries, and it's really good against Gragas. If you can predict an explosive cast and be like, yeah, I'm gonna put a win wall, and then your ult just doesn't do anything, and Gragas is like, aw, gets really sad.
Yasuo's win wall, it's very important to remember that you can just walk through it. Just step through it and then shoot him in the face.
The problem with walking through Yasuo's wall is that if you position the wall really, really well, then walking through it means that you're walking into the middle of the enemy team. But, I mean, it does go forward over time, and because it moves forward over time, he can't do that. Like, that's actually really, really important that the wall moves forward. If it was just stationary, then no one would ever be able to walk in front of it.
Yeah, he's a pretty bursty champion. His damage output's really, really high, but he's really killable, is the thing.
Yeah, oh, that's why they picked Shyvanna, so that Yasuo can ult. Because otherwise he can only ult off his own Q.
Well, I mean, but why Shyvanna? I mean, you can play Xin Zhao.
Lulu. Well, okay, the problem with Xin Zhao...
Wolfer's gonna bottom, though, and he'd probably want someone a little bit more durable than Xin.
The problem with Xin Zhao plus Yasuo is that the only way that Xin Zhao can get the knockup is by doing a knockback, and if you want to combo the knockup into further CC, you can't knock back first. So doing a knockback for the Yasuo setup means that the Yasuo has to be last.
Why would you knock him back at all? You have 3 Talon Strike.
Oh, you can also do that, but I mean if you want an AoE. Generally you want an AoE proc of, so like something like Lulu. Lulu is probably one of the best champions to have on your team. Lulu, even Cho'Gath, honestly, Cho'Gath would do really well with Yasuo because you have a knockup, an AoE knockup on a really short cooldown, and your goal with Yasuo is really to get that knockup, get that ult off onto as many people as you can. I don't actually know all of Yasuo's ability names. I'm awful. I need to look that up.
Worst casters, NA. I'll buy us a trophy someday. Now, you're still beating me by a lot. Rheingold, you know, like, so many more abilities than me. You don't need to look them up. You can just click on... You're not the camera, so you can just click on Yasuo.
Yeah, but I need to be able to say it mid-team fight.
Oh, so you're going to have it, like, on the... Okay, I got you now.
I also need to just learn them.
Yeah, a friend of mine just started playing them, and I haven't figured out what they all are yet. I guess I should look at them in my death recap more and be like, oh, that's
you want to get a last breath off onto ideally 2 or 3 people, or as many as you possibly can, and just get that CC chained. And so having AoE is really good. Wukong, Lulu, Cho'Gath, anyone with an AoE knockup like that. Alistar Alistar sounds really good with Yasuo.
Ali and Blitzcrank are very good with him.
Oh yeah, Moloko just pointed out to me that Jace was completely ignored, and also Zyra was also completely ignored.
Wow, that's
Zyra,
actually pointing that out. There's something more to that. Talith PA is an extremely good Jace, and for him to pick Yasuo over Jace is really interesting. Either he's just really into like trying to practice out his Yasuo right now, or he just feels like he can get away with that pick. Like, why did he go with Yasuo over Jace? Like, that's really interesting that he points that out. Interesting.
we also have two quasi supports in Leona and Karma, and now Karma is an AP carry and Leona is a tank, but those are two support E champions. Over on the other side, we haven't talked about the other comp. We have a Rammus. Rammus really, really mobile, really, really annoying. 3-second taunt, really, really annoying.
There's a Sharpie Shark in the chat asks a question. So if Rammus is more than likely going to be back capping, who is going to stand back and counter that? If you need to counteract a back capping Eve, Rammus, Shaco, anything like that at all, Lulu, Cillian, Singed, anything, you pick the champion on your team that has really high mobility, or you pick the champion that is the least damaging to remove from your team fight. Like, let's look at this comp here. Urgot, Yasuo+Leona, Karma+Shyvanna. You would break off Karma, because Karma has high movement speed, high durability. You would not break off Yasuo, because he needs to be doing that damage to people in fights. You would not break off Urgot or Leona, because their movement speed is very slow. So you don't need to be faster than the person who you're preventing from backcapping. You just need to be fast enough to get to points behind them to interrupt them within a second or two of them starting to cap. It's also helpful if you pick something that they can't kill very easily, and Karma would be the optimal one for that in this particular comp.
So speaking of mobility, we have a ghost on Gragas. That is extraordinarily interesting to me. I was assuming that Gragas was going to be bot, but it might actually be Darius bot, except that's still, it's really awkward to go bot without a combat summoner. And you have Flash on both Rammus and Lee Sin. They have one combat summoner in this entire team. One combat summoner. So in the windmill fight, like, Scarf is going to have to play so well in the windmill fight in order to really have a chance at all, because they only have a single combat summoner. They can't exhaust anyone, and they can put true damage onto exactly one person. And that's gonna have to be someone who gets into the back line, because the Ignite is on Ezreal, and Ezreal is not guaranteed to be within 500 range of everyone on the side of Clueless. So the Ignite's going to go onto Shyvanna or Yasuo. He's likely to not be able to get it onto Karma or Urgot unless the fight is really, really centralized, which means that it's probably going to be super bad for Ezreal because he doesn't want to be that close to people. So only that one combat summoner, that's really, really risky.
I need to confirm on the name. It's Zon Adolphos, right? Xonadofos.
Puns are encouraged here.
I would say they're allowed. They're only encouraged
Puns
sometimes.
are encouraged. I love puns. I will give you a shout out on stream if you put a good pun in the chat.
It has to be good. We've seen bad.
Sorry, I'll give you a shout out on stream if you put.
But did I get that name right?
Hey, this is round 3 of DominateDominion number 91. Clueless is the left-hand team, half-hearted on Urgot. Talith playing Yasuo. Akirium on Leona. Wormluke on Karma, and Wolfer on Shyvanna. I am RheingoldRiver. I am joined by
Gandair of the gaming clan, Vato clan, and Zoc Adnafos' team. We have Kevin Fire 30 Rammus, Rise Glory Lease. Oh wait.
Scarf. It's Scarf.
It's Scarf. Right, we changed it. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm not. I knew it, like, sort of. I was looking at my overlay and I'm like, why is this wrong? And I just couldn't figure it out. Okay, so you read that while I fix the overlay.
The other day I held the door open for a clown. I thought it was a nice gesture. I've never heard that one before. The other team is Scarf.
Okay,
it is
Scarf.
Kevin Fire on Rammus. Rise Glory on Lee Sin. Phenomenon. I get that on Darius. Jiahung on Ezreal, and Enko Dusk on Gragas.
Alright, thank you, Rheingold. for that lovely intro. Taking a look at the items here. Prospector's items, boots, common opening. Some champions don't need to open boots with. In the case of you seeing Leona there, not picking one up. Going without boots on one person on your team is completely fine because you have plenty of other people with boots that can get there before you, and they can take care of that. You open with a couple of potions for a little bit more sustain up at the top windmill fight, which is really, really useful up there. The Prospector's items give health and a little bit of sustain also because they have that lifesteal, damage, and health. It's most of the health that's useful on them. In the case of tanks, you don't have a Prospector's item to open, so people will usually open with Ruby Crystals, Kindle Gem, Doran Shield. In this particular instance, we're seeing a Rammus opening with a Giant's Belt. We're also seeing a Lee Sin forgo the Prospector's items entirely, looking like he's going for a fast Brutalizer. So he's going to sacrifice a little bit of health, but since he has Iron Will Safeguard, then that's going to help him a little bit as well.
Alright, so Windmill Fight has started a little bit of damage onto Kevin Fire there, and an Inner Flame from Karma, not onto Kevin Fire, but that's okay. But it is Halfhearted getting focused down in the middle of the team. That is not where he wants to be. He is going to fall almost immediately, and Godusk has to engage out. He's okay, can throw barrel rolls from far away. Akurim in the middle of the fight is okay with that because he's Leona, and there's the W from Karma. Q across from Talith doesn't do too much. There's the Inner Flame. That's going to be a kill for Karma onto Gragas there. Talith on the side getting poked a little bit by Mystic Shots. And Halfhearted rejoining the fight there with his revive. Phenomenon is going to go down. Phenomenal play there. And Geohung gets exhausted. He's going to get focused as well. 2 kills for Karma so far. Kevin Fire now trying to do something, anything. He can't do anything at all. Ankudusk has rejoined the fight. He needs to stay away, though, for the rest of his team to get there. And that is too long. And the windmill goes the way of Clueless.
And that was very smart by Ankudusk's Gragas. Did not try to go in and get himself killed for delaying a point for just a couple of seconds. He hung around, waited for his team. Very good decision on his part. They only get in close, gets taunted by Rammus, and Akurim is going to go down. Leona not having very much mana. No, barely going to be saved.
Yeah. Karma there with a little bit of kite onto Kevin Fire. He's going to turn on his Q, try to get away, and a Halfhearted chase is a little bit way too far. He's going to go down, but Luke, seeing Rammus walk straight into him, is going to pick up the kill there. Talith now dashing away, and Luke going on to Ezreal there. Great knockup from the Q, and the ult! It's a double kill! That was a great final press from Yasuo.
Talith freaking PA. Talith the plays up top with that very clean double to finish things off. Point securely defended by Talith PA's Yasuo. And down the bottom lane, Rise Glory and Wolfer's Shyvanna. Still going at lanes against each other. Are we going to see the first gank of the game? Looks like Halfhearted's on the lower part of the map. Could be going for it in a couple of moments here. Top part of the map. Phenomenon's presence is going to make Leona feel like falling back just a tad. She scoots back up to the upper bush as well. Talith PA moving out against the enemy there. You got Gragas and Ezreal coming up from the bottom. And it looks like they're going to come around on Health Relic's side. Gragas showing where he is with the barrel there. Gank going on down the bottom lane, though. Halfhearted going down to gank for Wolfer, while Lee Sin actually had recalled. So Halfhearted is going to be able to zone him back.
Blocked the two-shot barrage, but he went down anyway. But that was a great win wall. Leona, meanwhile, going in 1 versus 3 there just to interrupt. So much resist stats when she turns on that Eclipse, but the taunt from Rammus punctures her resist, and she's going to go down. Phenomenon falls as well to Karma on the other side. Talith PA dashing back in. Double kill for Karma with that auto attack on Ezreal. Kevin Fire getting focused now. Slow comes down, puncturing taunt onto Talith PA. Luke needs to be careful. He has shield back up, going to use that to try and get away. Barrel roll comes in, does not connect, and Talith PA trading places with Gragas as both of them dash. Very handsome play there. And he does use the last breath there onto Rammus. Can't quite pick up the kill.
Ooh.
He gets the shield from his passive and he lives.
Wow. Luke again with the saves coming from his Karma this game have been very, very nice. Halfhearted's going to fall over here by the drill. They're going to take that back pretty easily.
They got a 5 cap. That was a pretty good 5 cap.
Yeah, it's going to be turned around. Look at this. Look at this. I like this. Let's break Ezreal off. You don't need 3 people to capture when you have another open point available on the map. Split one person off. Go and get your map positioning back. Very nice. They don't have any globals to interrupt. Ezreal gets that, no problem, and it goes back to being a 3-2 cap. They did get a fair amount of extra Nexus health damage in doing so, which is nice, but It could have been more if they had not had the presence of mind to split someone off. Don't stack on a point while capturing, though, either. That's something you gotta remember.
Darius there. Karma comes in with an inner flame. Does a lot of damage with that explosion there. Misses the second inner flame, and I think Phenomenon will go down there. Kevin Fire now getting kited. Leona goes forward. The knockup comes down from Yasuo with his Steel Tempest. Storm Shield on Gragas, but he is still going to get ulted by Leona anyway. It was just a slow explosive cask is invisible, but it gets the kill anyway.
Lee moving around with the safeguard. Lee not in the bottom lane. No one in the bottom lane, actually. Shyvanna is going to pick that up pretty uncontested, actually. That's interesting.
Rammus goes in, barely gets the neutral or the interrupt on the cap there, but Wolfer is here and half-hearted joining on Urgot there. It's a little bit of damage off with those corrosive charges, with those acid hunters actually after the corrosive charge. Rise Glory with the safeguard to try and get out.
And Kevin Fire pretty durable. Looks like he is going to be able to walk away. Oh, is he going to drag Wolford the laser? Almost gets him.
Almost dies.
So
Minions
close.
Coming in, a little bit more cap. They can pick it up right now, and it looks like they will.
But will they be able to hold on to it for very long, though? Kevin Fire initiating the fight in on half hard. You have Wolfer hanging out in the back here. Just looking for an excuse to head in on that.
Half-hearted probably going to drop there, yeah. Can Wolfer get the kill? Yes, he can. Shyvanna, OP.
But he can't quite finish off Lee, it looks like. He's going to go ahead and give that up, go with the recall. And top part of the map, Clueless still in control of the windmill at this time. And
great
oh,
flare.
man!
By Akram. He is in as well. Should be able to get one kill down. Windwall goes down there. True Shot Barrage actually did not get clipped by it. And there's the last breath after the Steel Tempest knockup there. They get the kill onto Gragas. Chasing Jiahung now. Can they catch up? Leona has Eclipse and has E, and Karma has a whole bunch of stuff too. But it is Sunlight proc wasn't enough, and the puncturing taunt onto Leona cannot chase anymore.
That was a great initiation there from Mercurium's Leona in that last fight, really opening up their opportunity to take them out and make a push for the drill. And their constant pressure they've been applying to the drill, even if they haven't necessarily been getting it, has really controlled the enemy's movement on the map. They haven't really been able to get out and accomplish too much, having been with all the oppressive movement that Clueless has had.
Wolfer, meanwhile, diving onto Gragas, going for the cap a little bit. Flame Breath comes down, that's going to mark him, and Half-Heart is coming in as well. Barrel roll, but Wolfer solos Gragas. Akram, though, almost out of HP right now. He's not going to be able to make it. Oh, the minions are going to interrupt that, and he actually does make it all the way to the health relic. No puncturing taunt. Leona going in, interrupt with the solar flare, turns on the Eclipse, gets the defense stats for a while, going to E over to Ezreal. One more auto attack. Ah, their Mystic Shot, that was enough, and Wormluke, a really nice arcane shift from Ezreal, but it wasn't quite enough. Missed the Q there. Wormluke got one kill, the exhaust goes down onto Darius. The health relic is not there, it was taken by Leona before. Windmill capture point quest did go down. Double kill for Wormluke there, using that W. And Phenomenon now 1 versus 2, but it's sort of like 1 versus a half because Karma is so low. But that is the last breath from Yasuo, that's enough.
The defensive garrison there is not going to prevent it from being captured. And I'll just eat that True Shot Barrage. That's
was
nice.
a really
Ezreal.
nice
Thank you.
windfall. That was a really nice windfall.
That was a very knee-jerk reaction. He caught that one real quick too.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice. But that's a defensive garrison that really was not effective at all. It did not delay long enough to stop the point from being captured. There was really not a play that they could have made off of it.
From Talith there.
Also, there is an abnormally high amount of Sunfire Cape in this game. I'm not exactly sure what's up with that. I mean, maybe it's to mitigate Yasuo, but Karma is going to do a lot of damage to these people and has been throughout the game.
Great solar flare there down onto Rise Glory. Lee Sin drops Talith. He gets much shield there from the Way of the Wanderer passive, but it's not going to be enough. Kevin Fire has turned on his ult, trying to get out. Can he? Oh, the slow from Karma. And the W, the one tick of that focus resolve. And Karma renews her killing spree. Ha ha.
So much armor. There's a lot of ninja tabbies and stuff going out, but what they're really dying to is they're dying to inner fires, they're dying to Yasuo's abilities. The only person who's really doing a lot of auto attacking is Half-Hard when he happens to get in range, but most of that is just acid hunters being used. So the ninja tabbies, while nice, I don't think they're getting that much mileage out of them.
Alright, Wormluke takes a lot of damage, and he is now going to be Cold Luke as he dies and his body turns cold. And he does not have revive, so he cannot turn into a zombie. How unfortunate. Poor Karma.
Ooh,
that was
that
just
Zenith
Karma
Blade
for all
in.
the deaths she's caused.
No stun on that Solar Flare. Good True Shot Barrage on Talith, making him take a whole bunch of damage there. It looks like Half Heart is going to be the next one to get picked up. He does go down, but can they get rid of a Leona? It looks like they have the manpower to do it.
To the ground.
But somebody needs to get a recall going here. Otherwise, they're just going to show up and take this point right back.
Yeah,
Shyvanna is still winning in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he just actually picked up a cap, so this is still a 3 cap.
Well, they really haven't had a bottom lane, though, consistently all game. It's like they've been rotating people down there sort of whenever, but they don't have a dedicated person, because Lee's been top a whole bunch of times, and I'm really not sure what's going on with that. Wolfer down here by himself should be able to be chased away from that pretty easily. Ooh, Rise Glory is going to escape out, take a little bit of damage in the process, but he is okay for the moment. Talithpay with the exhaust on Gragas. Oh. Ooh, nice dodge there from him as well. Talithpay may get picked off here. Leona coming in from the back, though. Half Hard pushing onto this point. Lee Sin does not have a lot of health to play with.
Oh, missed that corrosive charge there. And the explosive cask will take out Karma there.
Darius went down to recapture the bottom point. There's the position reverse on Lee.
Nice ult there. And the Solar Flare goes in with the stun onto both of them. Perfectly timed there, perfectly positioned. Can he get the kill on the Half Heart? Yes, he can. He can, and he did. But a lot of damage from Leona. Yeah, she's a tank, but she does have base damage. Just E across. One more auto is enough with that Q. And Leona picks up the kill.
And Phenomenon and Wolfer down in the bottom part of the map. Phenomenon just sort of being chipped away by Shyvanna. That Triforce and Sanguine Blade. I don't know a lot about Shyvanna builds, so can't really comment on that too much. Gets taken down. There's no one in position to get the top, and
that's going to be game.
That's going to be it. Clueless is going to take the victory here.
I'm clueless to how that happened.
Let's see. Okay.
All right, let's talk about the items before we go on to the stats at the end of the game.
Yeah, we will. As soon as I tab over to that, what's it called? There you go. Ta-da! Okay. Oh, looking at items here, if anyone had any particular questions or anything like that, feel free to post in them. One of the things that we're seeing that's a little bit abnormal is that is a lot of Sunfire Cape. And
you generally don't see Sunfire Capes. The thing is that Sunfire Cape is only a really good item on Summoner's Rift if you're split pushing, and that's not really a thing on Dominion.
Yeah, I mean, you really want Randuin's Omen over Sunfire, typically. Unless you're a character with a seriously abnormally long lifespan like Leona or Taric, then maybe you'd do it. But for the most part, you really want Randuin's Omens because of the debuff that it puts on the enemy, as opposed to this here. Darius never upgraded his boots, which is a little bit, why? Same with Ezreal. It's like you kind of do need that. I mean, especially with the movement speed coming from Karma, you want to upgrade those, especially because you get that CDR from it. It's free CDR if you get the Ionian boots, or it's free Mercury Treads, which is really useful against...
Not free, but it's worth it.
Well, free is in you don't have to dedicate an item slot to it. That's what I mean. Like, you can get it on your boot slot, so why not take it there as opposed to having to get a Zephyr or something else like that? Let's see, looking at other things that jump out at me. I don't know anything about Shyvanna or Shyvanna builds. She's not used very commonly, so I don't have a lot of experience with her to be able to comment on it. Looks like Yasuo, everybody has been loving the static Shiv on Yasuo just because it synchronizes so well with the rest of his stuff that he has. And he gets double crit because someone thought that passive was a great idea. Someone slapped that guy. Plus 50% crit, sure. Double crit? Why? Who? What? Who did that? How did you think that was going to be okay? That's my personal opinion, though. It looks like going for a Triforce after that, unless he was going for... Yeah, he's probably going for a Triforce after that, because that gives him even more movement speed, more crit, all sorts of nice things that still work well with it. And he's kind of a squishy champion. I mean, you really just want him to go in and finish people off with that, super crit ability. Leona not completing the boots. Again, not sure why so many people didn't skip on the boots upgrade. there, but I mean everything else in her build looks pretty standard. Leona really heavily
She
favors
probably
CDR.
got to 40%. Yeah, I was gonna say she probably got to 40% CDR.
So you get like Merc Treads or Tabby, especially
I mean,
against
she
that team.
was getting Tabby.
Oh, that's what the cloth armor. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Leona loves CDR because more CDR, more Eclipse is very good. And it's hard to
Also,
get
her
CDR
ult
on
is
melee, so that's why you see the Ionian on Half Heart's Urgot. He went Ionian, he went Brutalizer, so that's your CDR right there that you get. Goes into Last Whisper after that because you really want that pen. Pen is great, and then it looks like he was going for the Youmu's there with the Avarice Blade. BFT you want to open with early because it really helps your gank ability and damage with your AP champions. Plus, it also gives movement speed. BFT is kind of ridiculous.
movement speed is so good.
The movement speed and CDR,
OP.
they stack. They stack. 80 AP, CDR, movement speed, and they stack. Only the unique active doesn't stack. So you can just get that all sorts of...
We did see a BFT stacking Lulu one time.
And she was killing nerds.
It's not a good Lulu build, but they won the game anyway.
Yeah, it's useful. You know, and I think that's pretty much it for items. I mean, this game only went 12 minutes, so we can't get into much more than that. But hopefully that answers or explains some
generally
things.
You would want to get CDR and Gragas. Some people were talking about that. CDR good.
Half hard. You're not the only one missing Cosmo's Windbreaker run. We all are, but it's okay. There's gonna be VODs. Karma out in front, 22k damage, almost 22 but not quite. She just needed 10 more damage to be a really interesting number. And Graveyard Hero this game.
You should screenshot that and put it on our not interesting.
I think you just called that.
That's my favorite subreddit. My single most favorite. I like it more than our League of Legends. Are not interesting is so good. It's so good.
All right, I'm gonna cut to a commercial real quick, and we'll sit and talk with you guys in the chat, and then we'll bring you the next game shortly.